we don't have teeth. Yeah. The bird say we don't have teeth. Yeah, but you have teeth, so you don't belong here, right? The bird became confused. So where do I belong?
You are a bat. The bat is a bat.
So the bat now decides that it decides that he will be now what? Not walk, has teeth, but the way he sits and do what? Teeth is head downward. Different from the animal and the one.
So that's why the bat tilts his head down. But you can't, you answered the question of the bat.
Yeah. The bat says
the bat does not, it has teeth, yes. So it's not a bird.
Bird doesn't have
not like the bird. Limbs. It doesn't have 4 limbs, so it cannot fit with the other animals. So
it is a bat.
So nature.
Dr. Asemekaha announced this on Wednesday at the company's headquarters in Makurdi during an interface with the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHCR. Nation Dam has the details of this report.
According to the Internally Displaced Persons Monitoring Council, an experience with inclusive is a significant challenge of internally displaced persons IDPs. In order to add value to themselves and the state, the Benue Investment and Profit Company BIPC has designed a solution model tagged IDPs through capacity building initiative to promote self-reliance and sustainability. Management of BIPC Wednesday engaged a delegation from United Nations High Commission for HCR seeking to partner the organization towards improving of the IDPs in Benue State. Managing Director BIPC Dr. Raymond Asemekaha says the partnership intends to expand the company's businesses in the state to include IDPs who will be taught the act of the business to become self-reliant.
We feel it is important for us to, integrate them in the business model. We found out that the IDP is about 1.5 million people in Benue State. The refugees about 12,000 and the returnees about 6,000. So we also know that the UNHCR, they have been making a lot of efforts, and we feel, what are we going to do different? We just feel it is important for us to integrate them by bringing them to our net in terms of the business model that we have, put in place. We found out that a lot of them, the world have changed, that people required skills, and we feel it is important that the only thing to help those people is not just about money. It's not about just giving them money. We want a lasting solutions. We want to bring them to the ecosystem that when we are doing our job, just like what we did recently, we will give the UN 15% of what we do. Now, how do we do that? We just launch our bread, we just launch our fertilizer company, we just launch our water. We're bringing them on board. Come and learn the job and become a self-reliant.
Country's representative UNHCR Ajon Jain lauded the initiative of BIPC to integrate IDPs in the state into the society, saying this is necessary to address the hunger and security challenges the IDPs continue to face.
We go around, we hear 3 things. We hear the first one is we want safety and we'd like to go back home. The second is that we want livelihoods. We want to earn our own money. We want to have our dignity. We want to take care of our families. We want to take care of ourselves. We don't want handouts. And the third thing we hear is that we would like a bit more support on education, healthcare, a few other issues, because they feel that they have, after 6 years, they should not be living in a home that is the size of their mattress. They can't even stand up straight in the room. They're here to look for a paradigm shift, to see that we don't continue with handouts, but we look at a solution where they feel like they are equal citizens in their own country and have access to the same rights.
Head of UNHCR Sub-Office Ogoja, Ms. Irene Omandi, expresses appreciation to Dr. Asemekaha for the interest shown towards the IDPs.
It's very important that solutions can be found on ground, and with the government, with the companies or organizations that are very much willing and open to see how IDPs, refugees, like any other person, can contribute to the building of the economy, but also to building to their own self-reliance by being people who can be able to participate, be able to earn a living.
A memorandum of understanding is expected to be signed within a month between BIPC and UNHCR. Naishun Dam, Benue Television News, Makudi.
Meanwhile, in a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court has barred the 36 governors of the Federation from further retaining or utilizing funds that are meant for the 774 local government areas in the country. The Apex Court ruled that it is illegal and unconstitutional for governors to continue to receive and seize funds allocated to LGAs in their state. It maintained that the dubious practice, which has gone on for over 2 decades, was a clear violation of Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. In its lead judgment that was delivered by Justice Emmanuel Agim, the Apex Court held that no House of Assembly of any state has the power to make laws that could in any manner interfere with monies meant for the LGAs, stressing that the law mandated that LGAs must be governed by democratically elected officials. The Supreme Court ordered that forthwith funds meant for the LGAs must be directly paid to them from the Federation account. It further declared unconstitutional the appointment of caretaker committees by governors to run the affairs of the LGAs. The Apex Court held that the 36 states are under obligation to ensure democratic governance at the third tier of government. The judgment followed a suit the federal government filed to secure financial autonomy for the LGAs. We now shift our attention to the federal government again, that has said food items to be imported into the country the next 150 days will be subjected to recommended retail price to bring down the high cost of food in Nigeria. This came on a day the lawmaker representing Borno South Senatorial District, Senator Ali Ndume, alleged that the food crisis in the country was further worsened by the fact that President Bola Tinubu was not accessible to be advised by lawmakers and even cabinet ministers. I recall that the government a few days ago suspended import duties and taxes on food items such as rice and wheat, among others. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, who disclosed this on his X, formerly Twitter handle yesterday, said, having suspended duties and taxes on food items, the federal government will take a step further to subject items to be imported to what he described as the recommended retail price. He also assured that the prices of food items in the country would crash in the next 180 days and pleaded with Nigerians to be patient with the government. The minister also explained that over the next 14 days, the Presidential Food Systems Coordinating Unit, PFSCU, and the Economic Management Team will in collaboration meet with respective agencies to finalize implementation frameworks for the new policy of making food cheaply available for Nigerians. Let's now join Lois Yotium for business news. Over to you, Lois.
Mentoring. Ibadan Disco warns against paying cash to fake agents. Financial groups say Nigeria's remittance cost highest in the world. Hello and welcome to Business Today. I am Lois Yotiong. The Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company (IBEDC) has warned customers to desist from paying cash to unauthorized metering agents as it announced the availability of meters following the recent acquisition of a new stock through the Meter Access Provider scheme. The DISCO mentioned that the initiative aims to improve service delivery and address concerns over estimated billing among its customers. According to a statement, the acting managing director of the IBDC, Francis Agoha, said customers are encouraged to register for meter acquisition through the dedicated platform designed under the MAP scheme to ensure a seamless and secure metering experience. In light of recent reports regarding unauthorized individuals collecting cash payments for meters and other services, Agoha advises IBEDC customers against making cash payments to third parties. While the IBEDC said it has provided multiple secure payment options to facilitate convenient and secure customer transactions, the company added that those who must take cash payments due to limited access to online services should obtain a valid receipt for every transaction. According to the World Bank, the British International Investment BI Development Finance Institutions (BFI) and impact investor remittance calls for Nigeria and other countries in the sub-Saharan African region maintain the highest in the world. They said, for instance, sending $200 to the region cost an average 8% in 2022, while the global average cost for the same amount stood at 6.2%. While this is more than double the Sustainable Development Goal (SDG) target for 3%. These organizations have moved to help close the gap. Accordingly, BII has announced a $20 million senior secured loan to Therapy, a cross-border payments processor with a key focus on remittance transfers into Africa. The $20 million funding for Therapy, according to a statement made available to newsmen, will contribute towards the continuing lower cost, higher speed, improved reliability and accessibility for remittance transfers into the continent, enhancing financial inclusion. Through its network, Therapy connects directly both traditional money transfer operators such as Western Union and digital-only fintechs, likewise with some of the largest mobile money operators in Africa, including M-Pesa, MTN Mobile Money, Airtel Mobile Money. That's it on Business Today. Many thanks for watching. I am Lois Yotiong. Do stay tuned for the rest of the bulletin.
Thanks, Lois. We now take a break. When we come back, international news. Please stay with us.
Benue Fashion Show Season 3 is here.
It's that time of the year for fashion designers, entrepreneurs, and fashion enthusiasts to shine.
This year, sale of forms for the competition begins from 15th April to 19th July 2024.
Pick a form at Benue Television, located at Special Duties Wing, Government House, Makudi. Form cost 5,000 naira only.
Stage 1 screening begins on the 6th of July 2024. Great prizes await you.
The first prize, 1 million naira. Second prize, 500,000 naira. And third prize, 300,000 naira. All prizes are inclusive of cash and fashion tools. Also, consolation prizes and gift items.
For sponsorship, partnership and inquiries, please call Benue TV Marketing on 0906 188 9838 or 0703 794 5569.
Benue Fashion Show,
embracing fusion fashion.
Welcome back. Stay live on Benue Television News at 7. We apologize. We'll bring you a report shortly and then we move on to the international scene. About 100 farmers in Benue State have benefited from the Benue State government-sponsored subsidized agro inputs to boost agriculture this year. The farmers from mainly Makodi local government are part of a continuing scheme to be carried out across the state. The Bureau for Agricultural Development and Mechanization, BENADA, made this known during the flag of distribution of inputs and assets to farmers in Makodi. Correspondent Franca Lanchima has more.
Benue State government has made affordable the provision of farm inputs in the state in order to yield richer harvests, and that the State's Bureau of Agricultural Development and Mechanization, BENADA, in partnership with Nigerian COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus NG Cares and Benue Fadama, farm inputs were Wednesday distributed to the farmers. Commissioner for Finance and the Chairman Benue Care Steering Committee, Michael Oglegba, explained that Governor Hyacinth Alia is aware of the importance of partnering with the necessary bodies to ensure that agricultural production takes center stage once again to sustain the status of the food basket of the nation. Mr. Oglegba attributes the successes of the program to Governor Alia's interest in helping to enhance agricultural produce and creating more use. He charges the beneficiaries of the farm inputs to properly utilize the opportunity in order to attract such projects to the state.
What is going on here is completely a Benue project, supported, that's what we're calling Alia case, right? Like I said, Father Alia invested. Now we are all reaping, right? Yes. So it's an investment of Benue State, supported by all the structures, the World Bank, Federal Minister of Finance, the National Coordinating Unit, everybody is supporting us. However, it is your project. What this project seeks to do is, one, to improve lives. Benue State, everybody is involved in farming. Even those of us that are in politics are now involved in farming, right? So you can safely say 98%, 97% of us are involved in farming. Anything you do in Benue, that does not include farming, you're wasting your time.
Director General of the Bureau, Engineer Tei Iseninga, calls on beneficiaries to ensure proper usage of the agricultural inputs to improve on their farms.
When subsidies are provided, farmers are able to acquire these inputs at a minimum rate. It's still expensive, but we thank the government that for other inputs like seeds, agrochemicals, and knapsack sprayers, it's even 75%, while fertilizer is 50%. This, we are sure that with the cooperation of God, which is in terms of weather-wise, our farmers will get optimum yields this year.
The State Coordinator, State Care Steering Committee, Mrs. Jacinta Wombo, urges the beneficiaries to live up to expectations, given that the present administration has more to offer to farmers who are especially under the umbrella of cooperative bodies.
These inputs are given to you as an individual. These inputs are not given to you to go and pick some and return some to anybody that has put your name. Are we clear on this? This is to improve lives, and so it is for you that your name is being mentioned or your name is on the paper.
Responding on behalf of the beneficiaries, Mrs. Judy Dio pledges to utilize the materials distributed accordingly.
God can do uncomparable, reliable, acceptable. Governor, His Excellency Dr. Hyacinth Yomen Alia, now he's adding a step to we farmers who we were nothing before others, but now we are something. So in that alone, for helping us to have all these inputs, I pray that whatever our hand lays on, if you plant one, by next year, it will double in Jesus' name. And
some of the beneficiaries, Teiso Waji, Mrs. Mwese Maka, and the Makudi local government youth leader on special groups and mobilization, Joseph Akben, separately welcomed the development.
This farm inputs, we believe that tomorrow it will even be better than this, and we appreciate God for that.
On behalf of Benue State Youth, we are glad and happy for this good platform. We want to assure the governor that these inputs are not going to be sold in the market. We are not going to sell them. We are going to make impacts on these inputs.
Do encourage those farmers out there that this is a reality. It's not a fake thing that we normally see on television, but this thing is now in our disposal. So I encourage them that they should form cooperative so that they can also benefit what I'm benefiting now.
About 120 beneficiaries received farm inputs, including NPK 2010-10, 10 kg bags of rice, peas, and herbicides. Franca
All right, thank you.
We're now moving to the international scene, where South Africa's police has said that Shifiwa Matozi, the man who masterminded a $130 million banking scandal that caused national outrage, has been jailed for 15 years. Matozi was the chairperson of VBS Mutual Bank, which collapsed in 2018 after being looted for years. The scam stretched from impoverished rural villages all the way to government circles and defrauded ordinary South Africans. In court on Wednesday, Matolzi pleaded guilty to 33 counts, including corruption, theft, fraud, money laundering, and racketeering. The former bank boss combined sentence amounts to 495 years, as he was handed 15 years for each count. However, the court ordered that the sentences run concurrently, meaning he will serve 15 years in jail. A report released in 2018 after the central bank ordered an investigation into the scandal, dubbed it the Great Bank Heist. The bank's owners were accused of bribing local officials in some South African poorest and most dysfunctional municipalities, persuading them to divert or to pretend to divert their budgets into VBS's coffers in return for cash and gifts. It was only once VBS was put under the control of South Africa's central bank that investigators discovered the full extent of the alleged looting and political intrigue. VBS was placed into liquidation in November 2018. Matolzi was accused of masterminding the looting with the support of a team of highly qualified accountants and lawyers, and a Dizin network of apparently fraudulent shell companies and subcontractors. Although numerous people have been arrested in the VBS case over the years, only Matolzi and former VBS chief financial officer Philip Truta have been found guilty and sentenced. South Africa's Elite Hawks Police Unit, the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, DPCI, which is tasked with investigating corruption, said it is also pursuing other suspects in the VBS case. Meanwhile, the remains of 14 victims of the 1995 Srebrenica genocide in Bosnia and Herzegovina have been laid to rest as thousands of people commemorate the anniversary 2 months after the United Nations established an annual day of remembrance. 13 men and 1 teenage boy recently identified through DNA analysis were buried on Thursday at a cemetery just outside Srebrenica in eastern Bosnia, 29 years after their deaths. Mirza Basic, a genocide survivor who was burying his 22-year-old brother, Midhat, this year told newsmen that the sorrow of discovering his brother's remains almost 3 decades later was indescribable. The hardest part was sharing the news with his father and sister, also survivors, he said. All 3 attended the funeral. The genocide, Europe's only acknowledged after World War II, occurred shortly after the breakup of then Yugoslavia on July 11, 1995. Bosnian Serb forces overrun the United Nations protected safe area of Srebrenica, separating at least 8,000 Bosniak men and boys from their wives, mothers and sisters, and slaughtered them. Those who tried to flee were relentlessly pursued through the forest and across the mountains surrounding Srebrenica. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, on Thursday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he hoped the memory of Srebrenica would strengthen the collective resolve to build a world free from the scourge of genocide, where justice and peace prevail. Let's now join Loretta Okor for weather update. We apologize for that. Well, that brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, let's take another look at the top stories. The headlines: we saw the BIP said to integrate internally displaced persons into skills acquisition program. We also saw the Supreme Court has granted financial autonomy to local government. And the international scene: brains behind South Africa's $130 million bank scandal have been jailed. Well, that was Benue Television News at 7. Thanks for watching. I am Susan Achin. Good evening.